this is Tuzigoot National Monument up there. More ruins. Okay, so I'm now at the Tuzigoot National Monument and the ruins of this village, which apparently was inhabited between 1000 and 1400, so quite a long time ago, and it was on this hilltop overlooking the valley with the mountains all around. Good fertile land back then. And this whole hill was just covered in sediments. So it was discovered and excavated in the 1930s. And it's only one of probably about 40 villages around this area. But excavations have only been done on this one. They found artifacts and spears and spearheads and things like this in this area from people that were dated 13,000 years. So we say Christopher Columbus discovered America. Well, we know Indians have lived here a lot longer than that. And 13,000 years of history with humans being in this area. I find it quite amazing that it was only in the 1930s that they've discovered this hillside village and excavated it. The area is also rich in minerals. Had lots of stuff to offer. Oh, there's some on here on that map. So it had salt, copper ore, argillite, azurite and malachite. It's a lovely area. I imagine that around these hills, the bottom ones here, that there'd be a lot more ruins underneath those if they started excavating. And all along here, really. So this is like a beautiful valley, perfect for crops. I think the elevation here is only about, it's less than 4,000, so it gets quite warm here. And look at this, isn't it gorgeous, just the outlook. So green here.
You never learned that while you were in school. Right. And that's a shame, because that's part of our history. We should know it. Yeah. There's indications of all sorts of trades. There is 7 miles south of Canterbury by about 10 miles.
Gorgeous. So green, but there was a sign that it's all in drought and the water restrictions are on. I think there's a ranger talk going on up there on the top.
Did the ranger down there tell you that the answers to page 10 are in the museum?
Oh, look at that.
So around the well, on the actual rim of the well, we have the two pueblos, the 11-room pueblo and the 17-room pueblo. That's really all we see in terms of permanent development. But all of the caves that are on the walls of the well show indication of people living in it. It's just that there was only 3 that they decided to build in.
Any like settlers?
Oh, you mean like the European settlers? Yes. Several of the European settlers, as a matter of fact, that whole area was owned by the Back family, B-A-C-K, from about 1870 until 1939. 39. And they owned that, and they actually had made the well portion part of a resort. And they charged the tourists coming in 50 cents a head to come in to see the well, and to actually boat on the well and everything like that. But they actually had they had acres and acres. They had a small farm, but most of it was cattle ranching that they did down there. And then, of course, like I said, they had turned it into a resort. They'd build a building where they actually housed the tourists that came in. And it's interesting because in 1930, they had a great big fire.
So I just learned from the ranger here that the excavation. Now let's go back a step. Down there's the river as well, along these foothills. So these foothills, they probably cover homes as well. This one in the center that I'm in was always part of people's stories, and the indigenous were talking about it, that under this overgrown area, because it's been left to its own devices for about 700 years, so it's overgrown, lots of rubble and sediments were on top of it. They wanted to, in the 1920s, they wanted to create a tourist attraction here.
In the middle of the summer, though, I'll carry a canteen.
So again, back in the 1920s, the local city area wanted a tourist attraction to get more people here, and they knew that there was something up here, but didn't really know how much that was or how much of this kind of stuff is here. So they employed a few people and said, can you start excavating so we get a few rooms that we can show people. And this company then said, once they started, there's a lot more up here than what you think, and if you can pay for that, then we'll find you a lot more. They thought that there would be about 50 rooms, but it ended up being over 110 rooms that they found in this village. And then of course the federal government pulled money in as well, and this is how it's ended up a national monument or national park. So who says tourism isn't good for something every now and then? It would have never been excavated if it wasn't for that. I'm going to try and see if I can find the trail that goes down to the river, or have river access, and walk along there for a bit. The ranger did warn about snakes, said there are a lot of snakes around here, and to stick to the trails as much as possible and be very mindful. He was also talking about some really big lizard that weighs several pounds that lives in this area, so we'll see. what I might stumble across. There is a sign about the snakes. Please stay on trail. Of course, the snakes can be on the trail as well. But they would be a lot more exposed, so they're not likely to be on the open trail. Well, this is the most impressive Indian or indigenous dwelling complex I've ever come across here. I mean, of course, Mesa Verde in Colorado is amazing as well. That's huge, and it's in the cliffs. Different type. The spot here though is just amazing. In the middle of this valley. Gorgeous.